Good afternoon, Willimantic, USA. Kris Beaudry here for yet another edition of State of the Art with Kris Beaudry on 95.3 FM and 1400 AM WILI. Good company. I want to say hello to the man behind the scenes, J. Matt Rupar. How you doing there, my friend?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you?
I'm very well. Have we said Happy New Year? I think we already have.
Probably, but Happy New Year anyway.
Happy New Year again. I don't know. When do you stop saying Happy New Year? Is there
I say
unspoken
like
rule about
January.
that? End of January?
Depends on when you see people.
You know, I think it should be whenever you start writing your checks correctly with the right year, then you can stop saying Happy New Year because you finally,
I do mine
ingrained,
good in
right?
the beginning and then a couple weeks after I revert back.
I know, it's just such a hard thing. Like, it's muscle memory. It ingrains in you. Folks, we have a very, very special show for you today, jam-packed with all kinds of excitement. In fact, there's so much excitement that I just spilled an entire soda on the radio desk. Oh my gosh. But you know what? Matt's here to recover, and I want to introduce my first guest. She is a woman about town who knows how to organize things and get shows done and just be creative and get involved with different things. She's a part of the Willimantic Whitewater Partnership. She's very active on the comedy scene here. I'm speaking, of course, of Miss Christina Locke. Kris Locke.
Kris Locke.
Is it just Kris? It's not Christina?
It technically is Christina, but I go by Kris. So if you're calling me Christina, you should be paying me because that's like my payroll name.
Or you're in trouble when you were a kid name, right? Anyway, Kris, welcome to the show. This is not your first rodeo, right? You've been on the show before, right?
No, I haven't actually.
You haven't? This is your first rodeo?
This is my first time.
Well, definitely not your first foray into the world of music and the scene at the River Room,
right.
And also the scene at T-Swap. You have a very exciting comedy show coming up. It is going to be at the Inkwell, which is, of course, our friends with T-Swap there. Kyle DeSouza, Griffin Ryan, and their whole crew there. A lot of the comedy variety acts and shows there are consistently sold out. They're doing such a great thing. It's almost like we have the arts and culture district.
And a lot of them are my comics that I've used previously, and then they started doing all this too. They've been expanding, and
it's amazing how the network grows and expands, and just it continues to get stronger here and funnier here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can actually, like, you see these ladies and gentlemen honing their craft. But tell us about Friday, January 23rd. First of all, what is the show that's coming, the comedy show coming to the Inkwell, and what purpose is it serving?
So it's a fundraiser for the Whitewater Park because we have stuff going on there. We have some renovations going on. We're reconstructing the dam, and then we're also doing the park area.
So the
but we
Whitewater
still need more amenities. It's kind of like a 3-phase deal.
And it's no small deal, too. We're talking like millions of dollars, right,
Yeah.
to get this
Right.
done. If folks out there aren't listening, don't know exactly what we're talking about, the Willimantic Whitewater Park is going to be on Bridge Street, and it's actually where the Willimantic Farmers Market has been held the past few summers, right? Past couple summers. It used to be under the canopy, the parking area there on Union Street by Corleone's Cafe, but they since moved it down to the Whitewater Park. But so it's
And I believe they're having their 50th anniversary this year too, so there's probably something going to go on in the springtime.
Who's having their 50th? The Whitewater?
Farmers Market.
Oh, the Farmers Market. Way cool.
Yeah.
I love the Farmers Market. Love the spring and summer and fall seasons. But so talk about you're on the board of the Willimantic Whitewater Partnership.
Yes.
We were just saying.
Yep.
This has been an ongoing labor of love for many in the community, and there's been some major developments as of late. Tell us about the recent developments and where we're going into the future with the Whitewater Park.
Well, we've always been working on it, and we've just been not getting the funds as much. And Susan Johnson got us a bunch of funding, so we started the actual project. I'm not exactly sure when it's breaking ground, but it has to be finished by May 1st.
Of 2026?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're just waiting for everything to...
What has to be
tied up.
finished? The plans have to be finalized? Or?
The first phase, they're going to
First
start.
phase.
I don't know exactly when they're breaking ground. We're waiting for the town to set up the last meeting for that. I know that the bridge stuff, they're going to be doing it at the end of the month. I forget exactly when. I think I wrote it down here. The 27th through the 29th, they're going to start studying the river paths and the way it goes before they start doing
And
that.
that's kind of like the environmental impact study, just to make sure that any plans
I
that
think
are...
just the the way the river goes, because they're going to have to do the reconstruction of that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So
there's probably going to be many studies, I'm sure,
how about this?
because DEP has to do everything.
Sure. Paint the picture of what the Whitewater Park will be once everything is complete.
It's just it's a natural park. It's not like your playground park.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's just a whitewater park.
Who's it for? Who's going to be coming? What are they going to be doing? What kind of things can people expect for when the Whitewater Park is complete?
Well, we're going to have more areas to sit and everything. That's why we're doing more fundraising. We're going to do, get picnic benches and all that other kind of stuff, which is not in our first phase. So that's the reason why we're continuing to do the fundraising for that part. And then, get some different, like statues and things to do with more nature, not like regular playground, like we'd like to see a lot of maybe integrated musical things that you can do around while you're walking around the park and that kind of stuff.
So when people come, it'll be for the general public to enjoy just the natural beauty of the Willamette River, but also the little shore area there, and then also for water sports enthusiasts. What will they be able to do?
So, well, we used to have a river fest, but we haven't done that in a while because clearing the river takes a long time, getting all that all cleared out. But then if you look at our landing spot, we do have a landing spot which we're going to make better with our second phase.
So is there going to be infrastructure poured into the river, like a retainer of some sort that holds the...
I don't know exactly how they do it. Like DEEP does all that kind of reconstruction thing. Right. But one of the things that we are going to have is like they call it a catcher's mitt. So where the landing is, instead of just taking out, you can go round and around and around and just
so
going in a circle there.
You can kind of leisurely set yourself into the water without having
you
to
don't
worry
even
about
have to
being
go all
caught
the way
by
down the
current.
street. You can
Yeah. Very cool. All right.
So
projected timeline for the completion of like all phases?
Well,
is there one?
The first phase is the park part that has to be done by May 1st. So it's done for the farmers market because they come down.
Right.
So that will be the first phase.
The farmers market starts their season in May, and phase one will be done by then. Okay.
Yeah. And then the water part starts this spring as well.
Okay.
And then we'll just like go on from there with the second phases and stuff. And that will
How many total phases are there? 3? 2?
Yeah, we're thinking 3.
3? Great.
Yeah.
And so this comedy thing that's happening on the 23rd of January, which is next Friday already? Wow. We're going to be done with January.
I know. I was just saying it's whipping by.
It's insane. So tell us about this. It's at the Inkwell, 754 Main Street, part of T-Swap. Lots of great comedy, but this one serves a purpose. And talk about the show. So
it's going to be $23 for tickets. And the doors open at 7, starts at 7:30, and I've got Sherry Cole, Luisano Rodriguez Jr., Dylan Rakowski, Nick Coaches, Jake Maffio, Whitney Allen, and Vendetta X.
Wow, all-star lineup, and each of those...
1, 2, 3, 4 of them have been in my other ones. I've used a lot of them, but I'm trying to like mix it up and get different ones in there now. Sure.
All right. So how did you get started in this kind of agent work that you're doing, arranging the show? You're like a show producer, but also a booking agent.
It actually just started for the comedy stuff and the fundraising. I actually went to a show that one of my other comics that I've used, Kris Mayhew, he had, it was his second show and I went. And then it was just really weird because had gone to the show and then Nick Coaches actually had done part of his skit, and he had actually talked about a dream he had. And me, being me, I go look up what the dream means, and it meant to keep going in your goal. And then I talked to him after the show and told him about that.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't a real dream. He just like threw it in there.
Yeah.
And then found out that he's friends with my daughter's boyfriend, and then and Jake is also friends with him, and like just got into all that. Yeah. And then found out that they knew you when I talked about you and. The River Room.
It's so funny.
So it's just everybody is within 6 degrees, really.
I mean, even less so in town, I feel, because it's so funny. Nick Coaches was actually featured on the cover of Mansfield Connections magazine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because I referred him because Gina Lombardo, who was the then editor-in-chief or whatever her position was there, she was the main producer of the paper. I guess she was really into comedy and Patty Tewitt, who will be here today on the show. Surprise ruined, but she'll be here with some in-house musicians, folks. By the way, if you're able to stick around at 3:30, this is a little side note. We're gonna have live music on the air today. But Patty referred me to be on the cover because her and John Tewitt of Vinyl Frontier here at WILI were on the cover, and the 6 degrees of separation just kept rolling. So I invited Nick to be a part of it because Gina had said I'm into comedy, and then after Nick was actually Chelsea Cherrier, Nick's partner, and they just had a baby, and Chelsea does fantastic work over at Click and everything.
Yes.
And yeah, it's like this whole artistic and community for the betterment of the area, nonprofit workers, but people who are involved in radio and nonprofits and people like yourself. It's just we all feed off of each other.
Yeah, and I had actually met you at a fundraiser when I was doing the Christmas trees for.
Right, that's right, at the Whitewater Park.
For the Project Hope and for ours Whitewater Park.
That's right, and Jean was volunteering,
right.
Jean Dismay, and
right,
you were
and
there.
then and I helped out plenty of times at the Street Fest, and then
at the River
that's
Room
how
to
I
help
ended
us,
up getting to know
kick
you and
off,
doing all that. So now I'm involved helping out in the chocolate.
So is
fest going on.
Is this the Inkwell? What is the name of the comedy show, and how can people get tickets to it?
You just show up at the door. It's at the Inkwell, which is 754 Main Street in Willimantic. Mm-hmm. It's right next to Trigo's, right?
There's a couple doors between, so
more?
it's right next to Crane's Wings Martial Arts. Is
Okay.
the same building. David Bellis over there, great business. They just won actually an award from Google for being a great new business. So congrats to them. But the Inkwell, I should say, and T-Swap, T-shirts with a purpose, is doing great things. They just got a major account with Eastern Connecticut State University.
Oh, nice.
It was in the Campus Lantern, or a local student newspaper, about the fact that Eastern hired current and former students to produce T-shirts for, I think it was Alumni Day, but they're doing great work not only with their T-shirt business but also with bringing arts and culture to Main Street. It's totally complementary to what we're doing at the River Room, and in fact at the Blocktoberfest,
Right.
we refurbished the outdoor stage there for musical performance by the Soul
And that
Jars.
was awesome. And
Yeah.
that was a good thing for our first year doing
First
it, too.
foray into
It was
the
really big
Riverside.
it's going to be like the Street Fest. It really is.
I think so. It's going to catch on. It's like a mini little street, an
Yeah.
extension street fest.
Yeah.
We thought October 4th it would be 50 degrees, maybe
It was
84
warm out that day.
degrees.
It
that
was
day.
hot.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was a beautiful day, and it was a good turnout. It was awesome.
So what if this show is too popular and people show up and there's no pre-sales?
It's first come, first serve.
First come, first
We're
serve.
doing it that.
They do have a website, and they do have social medias, though. Do you happen to have them on hand that we could read to the folks? I know if you go on Facebook and you search T-shirts with a purpose or T-Swap.
I'm not sure. I know that I created it as an event. It was posted on my page. I posted on the Willimantic and the Mansfield pages. I tried to do it weekly. I got to do it again this week. And the Whitewater Park posted it on their page.
Great. So yeah, you can look up Willimantic Whitewater Park, or also
just events too. It's on the events.
T-shirts with a purpose, and then in parentheses, T-Swap is their Facebook page, and then T-shirts with a purpose, all spelled out, .com is their website. Kris, any parting thoughts about this night? I mean, it's going to be funny. It's like an all-star
It's always
local lineup.
Good time.
Always a good time. Luciano actually led one of our open mics, and he just killed it.
I think Sherry
hilarious.
is going to be going to your
Tonight. Yeah,
She
great.
plans on going
Excellent.
tonight.
And do a comedy set?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, way cool.
I'm pretty sure she is.
And you were saying you were working late, but you're going to try to make it for the last half hour, so that would be great.
I get off at 9.
So I'll tell her if she gets there to save her set.
Yeah, that's like my corner, because I got the Whitewater Park, and then I manage the Fluff and Fold, and then you guys are right down
You're the
down the
queen
corridor.
Queen of
So
Bridge
it's like
Street.
my corner there.
That's so awesome.
And then we're going to be doing a golf tournament in June.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to that. Yeah.
June 5th. We're
Third
doing
annual.
third annual golf tournament, and I still have to create the event for that. I just got the flyers. I think I threw out a post on it, but I didn't do it as a created event yet, and I didn't get the flyers made. But I got to do that and start getting that out there.
Yeah, really quick, rattle off the details.
And
here.
that's Friday, June 5th, and it's going to be right at the Wyndham Golf Course. It's $150 a player, and you can call or text me to register for that, and that's 860-771-9968. And it will be posted on Facebook, Instagram, and Willimantic Happenings throughout.
Great, fantastic.
That's still got a ways to go. And then we're also doing a Buy a Brick campaign. If you go onto the Willimantic Whitewater organization.
Yep. And you can customize a brick for
Yeah, you can
various
get
price points.
Right,
And then,
$50 for a regular text only. If you do a little clip art that they have chosen, there's a whole list of different kinds you can do. Then that would be $75. And then if you're a business that want your logo on there, it's $100, and it will be.
And it'll be inlaid in the actual.
There's a center
Whitewater
part
Park.
of it, yeah. They're all going to
Flower
be in there
garden
forever.
or something like that.
Yep.
That's so cool. All right, folks.
Yep.
So you heard it here. Multiple occasions on which you can support the work of the Whitewater Partnership. It's going to be a fantastic facility on Bridge Street. It's already known by many because Willimantic, if you did not know, over the course of a stretch of about a mile, the river drops about 90 to 100 feet, and that's the reason why the American Thread Company and all of these mills chose to do business here, is because the water power was so intense, it was the perfect location. And there's just so much history. I mean, Bev York could talk circles around it. The first electric light bulb was used at the mills
awesome
here
with all that.
in Willimantic. So, Kris, you're doing some great work. I encourage people to go to T-Swap, that is the Inkwell, their performance space. That is Friday, January 23rd, and the timing again is at 7 p.m. Doors open, and the show starts at 7:30. You can find more information at T-Shirts with a Purpose or the Willimantic Whitewater Partnership Facebook page. It will be $23 ticket at the door. Again, a slew of performers, all for a great cause. Then in June, Friday, June 5th, is the third annual Whitewater Partnership fundraising golf tournament at the Wyndham Country Club. Now, what is Tim DeVivo, the new name for it?
It's still the same. I think the same as it was before.
So up on Club Road here in North Wyndham. It's a great facility.
It's a Wyndham Golf Course, but
Wyndham
I'm
Golf
pretty
Club.
sure that's what it was
They
before.
put a lot of money into it. They just the creation of that indoor. I actually spoke with somebody yesterday who had they went and experienced the indoor driving range. So they got some really cool stuff going on there. So check out that.
Even if you do the outdoor one, they have it like where you pour the balls in and you just hit it. And it tells you like how far it went and what the speed was and everything. Like that's something I can do. I'm not a big golfer. I just do the tournament for everyone.
Right.
But definitely a good time.
And then finally, the Farmers Market 50th anniversary. They're in the planning stages. So check them out. Instagram, Willimantic_Whitewater. Facebook, Willimantic Whitewater Partnership. And website, WillimanticWhitewater.org. Kris, thanks so much for being here. We're going to switch it over now because we have to keep the show rolling, folks. We have, again, so many interesting and fun things going on, including an in-studio performance today. But now we're going to get Mr. Braiden Sunshine on the line. We're going to be calling him Matt Rupar, and we're also going to get Dan, Ramblin Dan Stevens, if he could join us in the studio, because we have a surprise. This is actually one of Braiden's childhood mentors. They're both from the great town of Old Lyme, Connecticut, where I happened to work for 3 years at the Old Lyme Inn. But we're going to get Dan in the studio, and we're going to surprise him as soon as Braiden Sunshine, and we're going to introduce him in 1 second. But this Friday, January 16th, we have the great Braiden Sunshine joining us at the River Room. And Braiden is bringing his band, the Sunshine Collective. It is the smaller version because if you go on YouTube, you can hear the large format. They actually did a really fantastic show at Telefunken Studios, Telefunken Microphones, that is. And just blown away at this young man's versatility, his musical prowess, his multi-genre influence. We're going to talk to him about that. But, folks, we have still about 25 tickets left for this Friday's show. So I would highly advise this. This young man, precocious would be a word that I use for him, because at the ripe old age of 15 years old, he was a finalist on NBC's The Voice, Team Gwen Stefani. And there's a rendition. It just it gave me a gut punch. It knocked the wind out of me. It was so beautiful, of the song that was made famous by the great Nina Simone, and I'm Feeling Good, right? And so I think we have Mr. Braiden Sunshine on the line. Braiden, are you there?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing? Because you literally just got out of line at the DMV. How was that whole experience for you?
Oh, my God. You know, it takes a second from time to time, but I got what I needed to get done, and the staff there was very kind. So I actually had overall, pretty good experience.
A good experience. All right, man. Well, that's good to hear. All right, because in years past that could be a drag, man. But I'm glad you're on the other end of that, and we're so glad that you're joining us here on State of the Art. And we're talking about your show coming up on Friday at the River Room at 7:30 p.m. Doors at 6:30. Tickets at riverroomwillie.com. But tell us a little bit about the band that you're bringing, because we spoke briefly or texted the other day, and you said you had a rehearsal with the group and you were really excited. So give folks a sense of what you're going to be bringing to the River Room on Friday.
Yes, sir. Well, the band that I'm bringing to the River Room on Friday is going to be kind of a distillation of the band that I've been working with over the past summer. We've played in arrangements of 7 or upwards of 9, at one point 11 pieces, but we're only going to be bringing 4 to the River Room just because we really want to bring it down to the core of what we've been working on, which is a new original EP and a couple of unreleased songs, as well as, some different stylings that we've been adding to the mix of our repertoire over the past year. It's going to be Aidan Maxwell as a drummer, Tom Boras on guitar, and Dan Lee on bass. Each of these musicians is incredible in their own respect as an individual, but also together they have this synergy that really breathes energy into a room. Aidan and Tom and I have been playing together since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Aidan and Dan have played together when Aidan moved to Denver over the past 10 years, and they've been working on their own project as well, so they have an incredible synergy. And then you put them all together, and everybody's got, similar personalities and musical stylings, and there is just something electric that appears. So combining all of this energy and this, frankly, they have such incredible musical prowess in their respective disciplines. And then putting original music into that mix as well. This collaboration between minds, it's really been an exciting project to work with over the past, 10 to 18 months, depending on how you look at it. And this distillation in the 4-piece is something I'm really excited to bring to the River Room.
That's so awesome, man. It just sounds like it's going to be, first of all, the intimate nature of the River Room and the intimate nature of the group and the synergy that you describe among that intimate, tight-knit group, I think will be magnified even more by people just being up close and personal and witnessing this. Do you play with this smaller, intimate quartet of the Sunshine Collective regularly, or is this a kind of a more exclusive format?
As of right now, it's kind of a more exclusive format. We're using the larger thing for festivals and Sailfest and such like that. But this smaller format is actually something we've been talking about behind closed doors pretty much that entire time. It's really hard to get 7 people together to rehearse, and
Sure.
it's much more easy to get together the 4 of us because 3 of us live together. So, we get to practice anytime, we get to jam anytime, and, develop our own musical synergy to a different length and a different extent than we were able to do with the 7-piece or the 10-piece.
That's amazing. And talk more. So you said some of the band members, or one of the band members, you'd been playing together since you were 8 years old. Now, you've had already an illustrious career, and you're the ripe old age of, is it 25 now?
Yes, sir.
And you were on a nationally televised competition, placing in the higher ranks 10 years ago at the age of 15. And your performance, your maturity as a musician at that point was scary. To imagine 10 years later. So how far back beyond your appearance at The Voice had you been studying music? I know you started meeting collaborators at age 8, but I mean, were you like raised from, did your mother put headphones on you when you were in the womb kind of thing? Or like how did you get started so young and so rapidly developed as a musician?
Oh gosh, well that's a heck of a story, but I'll try and keep it tight. I have loved music just from the perspective of appreciation and enjoyment since I was, really born. My parents are music lovers. I have been brought up with an eclectic musical taste from, my father's a fan of everything from Megadeth to the Grateful Dead. And so I've been exposed to everything in between. Yeah, oh my gosh, that was a gut punch for me the past few days.
Yeah.
But so I was born with hearing issues. My ear canals hadn't fully formed, so the way that I kind of communicated was more through tones. I couldn't hear words, but I could work with prolonged tones, and I would lay on my dad's chest and he'd sing to me, and I would hum back to him. So that's kind of what I could do before I could speak. And as soon as I could speak, I was in a church choir. And that is where I met my first, the first band that I was ever in was in church, and I joined that when I was 8. But it wasn't a garage band; it was a gigging band. We were doing 4 or 5 gigs a week sometimes, and from 8 to 14, we did over 400 shows. So it's really just it kind of kicked off and kept going. But it's always been something that was, contagious in my life. I couldn't stay away from it, and I couldn't stop, humming or drumming on desks. Or music has always been a fundamental part of the way that I live my life from day to day. So to be able to develop it and make a living from it and have it be such a big part of my life as an adult has been a privilege and a pleasure.
That's amazing. And you're from, where is it?
I'm from Lyme, Connecticut, so right down on the shoreline. And
Lyme obviously is very close to Old Lyme. Did you have any kind of musical ties to the local community? I know there's a musician down there. He's got a little cafe in Old Lyme, downtown center there, called Nightingale Cafe. Are you familiar with this gentleman, Dan Stevens?
Yes, sir. Dan Stevens is so cool. He's an incredible musician, and he's an incredible man in our community.
Well, Braiden, I'm really glad that you let off saying nice things about him, because I want somebody to say hello to you on the microphone right now.
Braiden, sunshine, it's Ramblin Dan, live and in person, my friend.
You are kidding. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, my brother. How are you? It's a good thing you did say something nice to me. Yeah, we'd be talking. We'd be talking.
Well, it's true. Only good things,
Well, along the lines of what you said, I remember being at the Congregational Church when, I don't know how old you are, but after the service, there was like a fellowship time in the fellowship hall, and you and the Maxwell kids would go in there and play. And that's the first time I heard you. I don't know how old you are. You must have been like 10 years old or something.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That was a good old times, huh? And Nightingales, bro. I still got the picture of you. I think you were 14 playing at Nightingales.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that was one of the more intimate venues. That was one of the first places I was actually able to express my own artistic voice through music that I had written, because I was terrified to do that in other venues and other situations. And you opened up that space and gave me a safe place to really begin to express that part of my musicality, which I really appreciate.
Well, God bless you, brother. I get approached by people a lot. Dear Old Lyme, Braiden Sunshine. There's a guy up in Newtown. His name is Gary, and you play with one of his sons. I can't think of his last name, but he's always asking me when I'm there, Braiden? Have you seen Braiden? I think he plays with you in some capacity. I wish I knew his name, but anyway.
That's
but
awesome.
I'm putting it in my promo, friends with Braiden Sunshine.
Well, thank you, and I get to have the illustrious honor of being friends with Dan Stevens.
You're a man.
Yeah, surprise, Braiden. But Dan is in studio live because we have a very special show coming up on January 30th. And if you're around, you should definitely think about coming through, because it's going to be a co-presentation with the Connecticut Blues Society. So Dan's here, Brandt Taylor is here, and Mickey Soretny is here, and also Patty Tuitt, the newest board member on the Connecticut Blues Society, who arranged this whole thing. I'm going to invite them all to come to your show on Friday, and then I'm going to invite you to come to their show on the Saturday the 30th. They actually, working with the Blues Society, they have a lot of great marketers back there. So they sold out their show, and we're adding another day. And I'm sure your show is going to sell out in the coming days. We're more than halfway there. But Braiden, give us some parting words on, if you want to shout out your website, first of all, how people can find you online, but any projects that you have in the works that people should be on the lookout for.
Oh, gosh. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to get on the air and talk about some of this stuff with you. And, the River Room is going to be an excellent show. I'm really excited to show off some of the things I've been working on over the past year. If you want to find what I've been up to, where to find me, keep up with the course of events and such, my website is www.braidensunshine.com. You can find me on social media just at Braiden Sunshine for any of those handles. And I try and keep that updated with, happenings, where I'm at, what's going on behind closed doors, and, during the off season when you're not gigging so much, just keeping you involved. But projects, gosh, I'm currently working on a couple of collaborative releases with, artists like, Jason LaPierre, Walker, Ebony Loren, and, working on my own independent releases as well. I'm also, Aiden and Dan, I was talking about, they have a project going. They have been working on this. They're just now creating the social media page and finally getting these demos down. They don't expect a plug, but I'm going to give it to them. If you look up Tiger Nightbird on Instagram, that is their, experimental funk, incredible project, and I am very excited to see what they do. Plus, I play bass in that project on occasion. So.
Oh wow! Okay. Multi-instrumentalist too. Excellent.
You know, we're doing our best to keep plugging along, but no, I one thing that I really want to shout out is the original EP I released last July. I worked with a company called Studio 60 to make sure that really came across and brought to life a vision that I've had for 6 years. I started writing that music pre-pandemic, and to really bring it to life in this, live captured studio environment is been a dream for me for years. So that is the work I'm most proud of to date, and I'm super excited to share that at the River Room as well this weekend.
Well, we're so excited to have you, Braiden, and thanks so much for taking the time. I'm glad we were able to schedule it around your DMV fun today, but we're looking forward to having you at the River Room this Friday, January 16th at 7:30, doors at 6:30, folks. Tickets are still available at riverroomwillie.com. I want to thank my guest, Braiden Sunshine, and we're going to hear more from my surprise guest that surprised Braiden from a blast from the past here, Ramblin Dan Stevens, but Braiden, we'll see you on Friday. Thank you for being here, sir. And we will be back after these commercial messages from our sponsors with a live in-studio performance of the CT Acoustic Blues Show coming to the River Room on Friday, January 30th. We'll be right back. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back to State of the Art here with Kris Beaudry on 95.3 FM and 1400 AM WILI, Good Company. I want to thank again Braiden Sunshine for phoning in. I want to thank Kris Locke for coming on in the studio to talk about the Willimantic Whitewater Partnership and the comedy show coming to T-Shirts with a Purpose and the Inkwell at 784 Main Street on the 23rd. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very exciting thing about to happen. We're going to have our second in-studio performance. We had, of course, Brian Titus and his musicians from the Songs from the Trail months ago when they performed at the River Room back in August, and that was a great sold-out show. And we have another sold-out show in the studio with a plethora of amazing talent from all over the area and a driving force behind the whole thing. That is your very own hometown hero and newest board member of the Connecticut Blues Society. She's a musician. She's a band leader. She is a community organizer. She is a creative mind now at the helm of the board of directors for the Connecticut Blues Society. Of course, you already know who I'm talking about. You may not see her on the live feed because she's hiding behind a computer screen, but Patty Tuitt is with us. Patty, welcome.
Hi, Kris, and hi, everybody here in the studio. I wish you could see it. We're just like filling into a telephone booth here.
So let me describe exactly. It's like we're in the TARDIS or something. We're just all. But we have Patty here. We have Mickey Soretny, who's going to be joining Mr. Brandt Taylor. They're going to be doing a duo performance, and then we have Ramblin Dan Stevens, who was on our earlier interview with Braiden Sunshine of Old Lyme and the Nightingale Cafe. But some amazing, prolific blues performers, composers, arrangers, band leaders, you name it, they do it, and they are active on the scene on the regular. So if you've been at all in touch with what's going on in the Blues Society and the blues scene at large, then you've probably seen a lot of these people perform. But Patty, tell us about what is going to be happening at, first of all, your new tenure on the Connecticut Blues Society board has kind of opened up some doors, and this is one of the first doors that you've kind of opened for the area in Willimantic here under your new tenure as director. So talk a little bit about how this all came, that you got connected, your new position, and then your ideas for the for going forward with the Blues Society, including on the 30th.
Sure. Going back even further just a little bit is that I do want to say that I grew up in this area, and I was a big fan of Shaboo and David Lefty Foster and the Foster family and the John family. I just adore them, and they brought so much blues to this area, really famous names, and I got to see a lot of those acts, and so I was very influenced by that being brought up. But then I wasn't really even playing until my senior year in high school, so I wasn't really a blues player until I hit my 30s.
Wow.
But I went to open mics, and it was a blues open mic. So I formed a band, and I joined into this blues challenge that the Connecticut Blues Society does back in like 2001 or 2002, which is a long time ago now. It doesn't seem like it. I think that all of us musicians are still in our 20s or 30s, aren't we?
Well, forever young when you play music.
Yeah, music brings out the youth.
Yeah.
So I've been involved a little more closely or not as closely at different times, and but I really support the Connecticut Blues Society. They have really wonderful resources. They have a weekly newsletter that comes out. I shouldn't say it's a newsletter. It's like an email of the coming acts for the whole state.
And it's robust. There's
yes,
a lot going on
it's a
every
lot.
weekend.
All the open mics, all of the big names, local names, everything. And they have a blues challenge where the winner goes down to Memphis every year. And
I think they just had someone place in the top 5 of the country, right? Who?
Yes. In fact, let's see. I know who that is. It's Ryan Hart.
That's right. Yep.
Ryan Hart is in the top 5 of a national blues chart, and he might make number 1.
That's
so
right from
there's a lot of
Connecticut.
good stuff happening with the Connecticut Blues Society. And so when I was approached, they asked me if I wanted to be a participant or to be more of a person who voted. And I said, I would rather do things. I would like to see a lot more blues on the eastern side of the river, because just demographically, a lot of the venues and a lot of the artists are west of the river. And so a lot of the events happen west of the river. And I said, I think in spite of the fact that we have people like Lefty Foster and you and various people who are really promoting blues in this area, I want to get one that involves the Connecticut Blues Society, and we want to have more membership so that they can know what's going on and attend these things and to see what's happening. So
this whole thing is a collaboration between CT Blues Society and the River Room, and a component of it is to drive new members and awareness for the society itself.
yes, there will be a membership desk there with the president and his wife. His wife is kind of like a co-president.
Yeah,
It's Scott
they're
and
great,
Ellen
yeah.
Sebastian. They are wonderful people.
Really amazing people.
And
yeah.
they have endless amounts of energy, just like you.
Energy and ideas and follow through with their ideas. They're really
Oh
amazing.
yeah, they've made
I
a
would
lot
wanna
of
be
new
on their
things
board,
happen.
yeah.
They've made many things happen to make people happier within the society.
So speaking about making people happy, I want to jump right in because we have only about 10 minutes.
we have. I don't want to take all the
and
time.
we
but
want to do
that
some
was my
performances. So
intro.
unfortunately, folks, if you're hearing this live or later on the WILI Radio YouTube channel, the show is already sold out. But I just found out from the musicians that they have availability for the following night, so we are going to be exploring a 2-nighter for this one because, Patty, we really haven't done much advertising. It just kind of
I
happened.
only put up one Facebook post
one
like
post,
this past
yeah.
week, and it's already sold
So,
out.
I think that's a testament to the reception we've been witnessing from the River Room, but also the power of the Connecticut Blues Society and your new energy that you're bringing to the table as a board member. But without further ado, I want to introduce, I think first we'll have our duo here perform. And the duo, of course, is Brandt Taylor on guitar and vocals, and Mickey Soretny on the blues harp. And are you going to be doing some vocals as well, Mick?
I am.
All right, so guys, what are you going to play for us? And take it away.
We're going to start out with a song I learned off an old Barker's department store album back in 1971. I became an instant Jimmy Reed fan, and I said, if I ever get together with a band or with a guitar player, we're going to play this song. And the name of this song is called Too Much.
And before you do it, I want to point out you have a family tie to the radio station
I
here.
most assuredly
Your mother, Virginia, had
Yep.
the polka show on. Was it Sundays?
My mom was an employee of WILI under the good auspices of Mr. Herbert Rice.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing some history
Oh,
here.
yeah.
You're hearing some family continuity. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you. You can believe it or not, I love my baby too much. When she goes out, I asked her where she was going. And when she gets back, I asked her what she been doing. Too much. Whoa, yeah, too much. I was a jealous man and I worry about my baby too much. I couldn't sleep at night and I work through the day. I worry so much that my hair's turning gray. Too much. Oh yeah, too much. I was a jealous man and I worry about my baby too much. Brandt, why don't you play me a little bit, baby? got a good wife. But don't you be jealous, or you'll ruin your life too much. Oh yeah, too much. Don't be a jealous man, and don't you worry about your baby too much. I think I'm gonna take it home now. Too much? Always too much.
Too much, more like not enough, man. That was less than 3 minutes. But hey, for the sake of time, guys, thank you so much. I think we're going to do a little singer in the round kind of thing. Maybe kick it back and forth, maybe 2 each if we can get it in. So I want to flip it right off the bat here to Ramblin' Dan Stevens. What are you going to play for us, Ramblin' Dan?
Play a song that's an old Bessie Smith number I learned from the great Dave Van Ronk in New York City. It's an old thing called Nobody's Business. If I take a notion to jump into the ocean, ain't nobody business if I do. Well, and if I go to church on Sunday, go out on the town, raise hell, will a man take on money? Ain't nobody business if I do. Well, it ain't nobody business, baby. How in the world I find my gravy? Well, it ain't nobody business, kid. Who in the world I do my business with? Well, what you wanna mess with me for? Baby, let me drink a little wine. Well, it ain't nobody business if I do. Ain't nobody business, baby. How in the world I find my gravy? Well, it ain't nobody business, kid. Who in the world I do my business with? Well, what you wanna mess with me for, baby? Let me drink some wine, yeah. Ain't nobody business, baby. Ain't nobody business, baby. Ain't nobody business if I do.
Dan Stevens, all right. So, folks, the show, again, is the Connecticut Blues Society and River Room co-present an acoustic evening of blues. There's going to be 2 acts, and, of course, you first heard Brandt Taylor and Mickey Soretny, and then Ramblin' Dan Stevens, respectively. Guys, we got about 5 minutes. Do you think we could do a joint performance? I know you guys haven't maybe rehearsed as a trio here, but I'm sure, being blues musicians you are, you can come to some kind of arrangement, maybe? What do you think?
I think so.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Patty, while they're considering what they're going to play, talk a little bit about your ideas for the Blues Society as a board member, like how you're going to supplement Scott and Ellen's.
Yes, I already have another concert in mind at the Packing House, which will be possibly on April 11th, and I want it to be a dancing blues evening.
Yeah.
I'm going by themes here. I want to have like a slide night. I want to have a girls' night out. I want to have all these different themes to be able to have this series go on. And I think that I can handle about 3 or 4 a year, so we'll see how far we get with that.
Amazing, Patty. Well, that sounds great. We have 3 minutes, which is a perfect amount of time for a final parting song. Again, I want to thank everybody who joined me on the show today. We had Kris, Locke, we had Braiden Sunshine, we had Patty Tewitt, we had Mickey Soretny, Brandt Taylor, and Dan Stevens. The show is going to be the Connecticut Blues Society times the River Room Acoustic Blues Evening on Friday, January 30th. If you didn't get your tickets for that night, folks, unfortunately, you're out of luck. But as I mentioned, we are exploring booking a second evening. We will announce that as soon as we know if it's a possibility. But we're going to leave you with a song today. This is Kris Beaudry on State of the Art. Thanks to J. Matt Rupar. Thank you to all for listening. Join us at riverroomwillie.com or riverroomwillimantic on socials. We also have our open mic, our 8th installment of our open mic since we opened in April, our first one in 2026. That's tonight at the River Room, Tuesday, January 13th. Doors at 6:30 and the show starts at 7. Come one, come all. You don't have to be a musician. We do poetry, we do comedy, we do it all. So join us at open mic tonight at the River Room, 50 Riverside Drive. Gentlemen, I think you have a song ready. Take us away. Take us out of the show.
I got the key to the highway. Lord, now don't you wanna go? Well, I'm going up the country, baby. Honey, what in the world you just waiting on? I'm going down to the river. I'm gonna sit down on my rocking chair. Well, now the blues don't let me alone. I'm gonna rock on, baby. Rock on way from here. A little hot. Walk to the river. I'm gonna take my rocking chair. Well, now the blues don't let me alone. I'm gonna rock on. Brandt, tell the tickets out of here. Is over Willimantic. I'm gonna head out to the River Room. We're gonna play the blues all night long. Rock on away from here. Well, now I'm gonna walk this old highway, baby, till the break of day.
Thank you all for listening. State of the Art with Kris Beaudry. We'll see you next week.